Jason, while we're still on the topic of not the nuts and bolts on the football field, but the atmosphere and the events surrounding the game, and you brought up Baker Mayfield, was anything said? Did he give a speech? Was there anything out of the ordinary other than the thank yous and it's great to be here from Baker Mayfield or anybody else?
So it was really a big weekend for. They had an event on Friday for some of the players, ex-players only, where the people that were responsible for purchasing the statue got a little bit of a firsthand glimpse of what that looked like. And then so there was a lot of media availability things that he did on Friday. Saturday he threw out the first pitch for the softball game that was held in Norman. And then to your point, yeah, there was a halftime speech and in where they unveiled the statue in Heisman Park that Oklahoma has. And in typical Baker Mayfield status, he talked a lot about how appreciative he was for the Oklahoma Sooner fan base. Got choked up a couple of times, really kind of talking about his career from a collegiate perspective, what led him to Oklahoma, and really thanking those that were a part of it. But also in Baker Mayfield, the way that he is, and I think this is something that endears the Sooner Nation to him. Is he took a shot at Oklahoma State after the he had a kind of a post game discussion talking about the statue, and the way that the statue was made was from the game against Oklahoma State, where he stiff armed a defender and scored a touchdown in that 2017 game. And obviously, the way that he did it in such a way that kind of showed the Heisman pose there when you slow motion. So he made a comment about little brother having to continuously see that over and over again. So I mean, I think those are the things that he does that has traditionally, engraced himself with Sooner Nation. That's probably, at least in the modern era, Mark, as the most popular Oklahoma Sooner football player. That's at least probably since Brian Bosworth, I would say, probably in terms of the most entertaining, the most flamboyant, guy that's out there. But he's one of the best leaders that we've ever seen in the history of college football, regardless of teams. So I think he's always been one of those guys that if he's on your team, you love him. If he's not on your team, you probably despise him. So very much in the same vein as Tim Tebow was looked at Florida for many years. So yeah, I think it was a good weekend that was sort of dedicated to him. I mentioned this before we went on. There was tons of former players. I think they said somewhere around 255, 260 players from all the way from the 70s to last year. So I think part of that was what Venables, his idea of making this a family and making this more of a player-led organization, player-led program. And obviously there was Kyler Murray was right there along with him on the when they were talking at midfield during halftime. And I think they'll have a similar celebration for Kyler next year. But no, I think it was a very cool tribute to him, and I think probably something good for him personally, right, with everything that's going on with him in Cleveland right now at the professional level, just giving him opportunity to maybe forget about that for a couple of days and go back to his roots.
And as you mentioned, his polarizing nature comes to mind that I know a lot of both Ohio State fans that are also Cleveland Browns fans, and to see their transformation from this guy's a villain. There couldn't be a player outside the state of Michigan that was more hated than Baker Mayfield by Ohio State fans for what he did to them on the field, and then after the game on the field in 2017. And then within a few months, he's quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. And a lot of people changed their tune immediately. And I'm Facebook friends with a lot of Browns fans that aren't real happy with the way he's been treated by the organization.